Hey guys, we are in the basement. Today we're going to do part number 5 of the Pac-Man Cabaret restoration. That is right, we're going to go back to the garage and work some more on the Pac-Man. You know what, I got lucky this weekend, guys. The weather was nice. It was in the 50s and I was feeling it, man. I wanted to get out in that garage and work on that Pac-Man, and we did. Boy, did we. And we got a lot of stuff done, a lot of prep work. A lot of getting stuff ready for the next step. But you know what? A lot of useful information in this video. And before we go to the garage, guys, I do want to plug one thing. You know my podcast, Video Game Outsiders? I do that every week. I actually have 2 podcasts, Video Game Outsiders and Arcade Outsiders. Well, Video Game Outsiders is a podcast we do every Tuesday night live at 9 p.m. Eastern. And now, this podcast is in video. That is right. You can see me and my co-hosts for a couple hours every Tuesday night. And what you need to do is go to youtube.com/VGOcast. youtube.com/VGOcast. And if you guys want to participate in the live show, go there 9 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays. And there's like a chat thing. You guys can chat with us during the show. And it's actually a lot of fun, so check it out. And also on my John's Arcade YouTube channel, I have a separate little playlist of just those VGO shows. So if you guys miss them live, you can watch them after the fact. Anyway, enough about that. Why don't we get to the garage and let's get working on the Pac-Man. We're getting close, guys. We're getting very close. All right, let's go. All right, guys, here's where the Pac-Man is. Now, in the last video, we got the game working. We replaced the edge connector. Everything is working great, but the game is looking pretty ugly here. We have a lot to do, actually. And actually, today is a great day. It's in the 50s. I haven't been really motivated to come out here lately because the weather is changing and it's getting colder, but today is nice. So hopefully we'll get a lot done. Now, what I need to do here, let's kind of review what needs to be done. Well, we need to remove all the old vinyl, which shouldn't be very hard. I think I just pull all this off. I did get the new vinyl from Hong Kong. It's right here. This was about $40. So hopefully I have enough here to do the whole cabinet. We do need to repair this bottom corner on the cabinet. I went to Home Depot today and I picked up a piece of 3/4 inch MDF, and we're going to use that to fix the corner. Now, this is actually particle board on here now, but we're going to use MDF, very similar materials. This is a little denser, a little easier to work with, and also I didn't have to buy a 4x8 sheet, a 4-foot by 8-foot sheet of this. I was just able to buy this little piece here. It's like a shelf, but it's 3/4 inch. It should work just fine. And then we also need to address the control panel. I'm going to strip everything out of here. We're going to repaint it. We're going to try to save the original silkscreen artwork that's on here. You can see that. That is not a decal. That's actually printed directly onto the wood. So we're going to have to restore that, strip off the old control panel, sand it down. We're going to have to protect this when we paint it. I think I'm going to repaint the coin door. I'm kind of on the fence about that. Yeah, I think I should. I'm just kind of looking at it. It's presentable, but I think if we're gonna go through all this effort here making this look nice, we might as well redo the coin door too. And I'm gonna repaint, I think, all the metal pieces as well. So, and I think I should probably come in here and paint all of the black in here with some Rust-Oleum satin oil paint. We'll just kind of come in here and just repaint all the black. And there's not a lot of it. We'll probably remove the speaker grill here and maybe repaint that and then paint all the black up in here. So. I think the first thing I need to do, though, we need to start taking this game apart. What I want to do is I want to remove the monitor. We're going to pull the monitor out, remove all the metal parts, remove the control panel, and then when I work on the cabinet, I think my plan is I'm actually going to take the game and I'm going to lift it onto this table on its side to work on the corner. I think that's going to be the most comfortable angle of attack. So let me set the tripod here and let's just start taking parts off of this game. Starting with I guess we'll yank the control panel off here real quick. I probably should turn the game off. Let me do that real quick. Okay, I turned the game off, just unplugged it in. So I'm going to reach in here. We're going to pull the control panel off. And these control panels, you know, all these games have... Actually, is this one screwed down or is there... there's just little, like, little brackets here. Is it? There we go. So there's like little latches on the inside. Just gotta make sure they're unlatched, and the thing just lifts off. Like so. And then we just need to undo this Molex. Alright, so we got that out. So I probably should yank the coin door off too, because in order to get all the vinyl off, I need the coin door off. So inside the coin door, there is a plug. There's just a little Molex plug down in there. Let me kind of show you guys. See this Molex plug right here? So we just need to unplug that before we unscrew the coin door. And sometimes they can be a little stubborn. And there we go. So that's unplugged. Now on the inside of the coin door here, there's nuts down in here. Right here. Okay. And so I'm just going to take my... my little ratcheting tool, and we're gonna get those nuts off. So let me go ahead and do that real quick and yank that coin door off. Okay, so let's get my tool here, my little socket set, and find the right So yeah, I'm pretty happy to be back out here. It's been a while, hasn't it? You know, I hate this weather, man. It gets cold, and I just didn't want to come out here. It sucks, actually, because I really want to finish this. But here I am. So I'm going to go ahead here and just undo these. Looks like there's just 3 or 4 nuts here holding it on. Okay, I have the 4 nuts off, and there's literally just 4 little nuts on the inside there. And after you pull those off, the coin door should just come right off like so. And so that's the coin door. So now we can strip this thing and then sand and repaint this when the time comes. And I'm going to clean up all the little metal parts here with some steel wool or something, because they have a little bit of corrosion on them. Okay, so the coin door's off. So I think right now what I want to do, actually I want to make sure I don't lose these 4 nuts. And so these are the 4 nuts for the coin door. I don't want to lose them, so I'm going to throw them in the coin bucket and then put the coin bucket back in. There's nothing more frustrating than when you get done with something and you're ready to put it back together and you don't have the frickin' screws, or you can't find them. Very frustrating. So my little system is to have a bag, a Ziploc bag where I put stuff, or I throw them in the coin door when I'm working on it. Okay, so I need to take the monitor out of the game. And we also need to change the monitor frame, because if you guys remember, in one of the early videos we did, I actually found a 13-inch frame, because this monitor that I got didn't have the mounting tabs on it, and the frame was wrong. So what I did is I had another 13-inch frame that had the mounting tabs up here, and we just kind of hacked the monitor chassis onto the frame, and it's just not a very good job. But SG at Claw sent me the proper 13-inch G07 frame, and so that's something I need to do still, is to take all the guts off of this frame and put it onto the right frame. But anyway, for now, let's just pull this thing out. On the Pac Cabaret, we have 2 nuts, one here and one here, and the thing should just drop out. And there's also a nut in the front. So let me get my tools here and let's get that off. So before we take the monitor off, though, we need to disconnect the wires that are going to it. We have a power connection right here, like so, and there's a ground clip right here. So we're going to undo that. You can see that right there. And then we need to disconnect the video signal wires, which are, let me see if I can find them in here. So the video wires are these colored wires that are going in there. See if I can show you guys. But these are the video wires right here. So I just basically need to reach my hand in here and unplug it. Just like so, and we've got 2 little plugs. So all the wires are disconnected now, so now we can go ahead and unbolt the monitor from the game. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. So yeah, we're kind of getting towards the finish line here, you know. I mean, this is it. It's just cosmetic stuff now. So this should go pretty smooth. All right, so when I do this though, you got to keep in mind that these two nuts are what's holding this thing in. It's going to want to drop out. So I got to kind of put some pressure on here and be careful I don't break this monitor. So here's the first one undone. And as soon as I take this one off, it's going to want to fall. Yeah, see, it's wanting to fall out right now. So I just got to be smart about how I do this. So I'm going to go ahead and put my hand here. And there goes the monitor. Okay. Just going to put that on the ground. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start ripping all the vinyl off. And I don't really think this is going to be hard at all, to be honest, because I think we just got to pull it off. I think that's all it's going to take here to do that. So let's go ahead and I might have to put a little heat on here. I'm not sure. We'll see. If I could do this without my heat gun, I will. I don't know if I'm going to be able to now. This is already getting hard. All right, let me grab my heat gun. And we'll just kind of heat this up and peel it off. Okay, so I have my heat gun and a scraper, and this is all we really should need to be able to get the old vinyl off here. And so I'm just going to apply some heat to this and then scrape as we go along. All right, the bottom here is kind of a bitch right now. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the game on its side. I think it's going to be a lot easier to work on if the game is on its side. So let's go ahead and do that. And just want to make sure the PCB is secure in here. I think I'm going to pull the PCB out actually, just because I don't want it falling out. This game is light as hell. I'm gonna pull the coin box out. So let's go ahead and just throw the game on its side. And I think it's gonna be a lot easier to work on here on this second half. The very bottom here. This is kind of, it's not hard, it's just, it's one of these tedious jobs here, and it's kind of slow going. But the heat is definitely helping remove it. It's kind of actually rubberizing the stuff, making it really kind of stretchy and gooey. But we're just kind of trying to heat up the old glue here. Okay, we got all the vinyl off this side. Wasn't hard. It was kind of a pain in the ass, though. It was kind of slow going in spots, but we got it off. Okay, so let's do the other side. The other side, actually, I already removed most of the vinyl, so the other side shouldn't be too bad. So let's go ahead and just lift this up, and we're just gonna basically just spin this around, and so we'll do the same thing. I'll just lay this down and we'll go ahead and do the other side, and then we'll do the front. And this is, of course, our horrible side here with this corner, but see if we can just pull this off without heat. Yeah, this side's no big deal. That was easy. So I'm looking here. Boy, this is going to be fun. I'm just going to, guess, just cut right here, and then we'll replace that wood. But we're not there yet. Let's lift this cabinet up, and let's do the front of the cabinet. Let's get all that vinyl off right there. So I'm just going to lay the game on its back now for that. And this cabinet is super light with no monitor in it. I mean, it's a small cabinet to start with, and take that monitor out of there, and it's really light. So, okay, so I just want to get all the vinyl off, and you could see, you know, the vinyl goes under the coin door. So, and we had to take the coin door off to get this vinyl off, and stuff's just so old and brittle, which actually makes it hard sometimes to get off because it's not very stretchy. It's just like the glue is just so old and dried out. I think I'm gonna need some heat on this one. Okay, we have all the vinyl off, and I think while I got the cabinet on its back here, I'm going to yank the T-molding off, and this should be no big deal. We're just going to go ahead and reach in there and just pull it out. It does wrap around the cabinet a little bit on the bottom corner here, so we'll get that piece off, and I think I have some T-molding already at hand, so when we get to that point, we can replace it. But yeah, just going to pull it out. Sometimes the T-molding can be stubborn to get out. Sometimes it can be so brittle that it's very difficult to remove, but it doesn't seem to be the case with this. So this is coming out pretty easy. So let's go over here and we'll do this side. And then when we put our new piece of wood in here, we're gonna have to cut a new T-molding channel. I think I'm just gonna use my Dremel for that. Because I'm not going to spend the money on the bit. They make a T-molding bit. It's about 30 bucks. But I only need to cut that much, so I can do that with my Dremel. So let's go ahead here and yank all this off. Okay. All right, well, I guess we could stand the cabinet up now and just kind of take a look at it. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay, so there we go. We've got all the vinyl off, all the T-molding, and the game is pretty much stripped. I'm going to go ahead and take the metal pieces off right now because we're going to paint those. So let's take off the marquee bezel brackets. There's a top and a bottom. It looks like there's just screws on them. It shouldn't be a big deal. So I'm going to kind of come in here and just pop these screws off. And the marquee should fall out. And there's 3 screws on top too, so we'll go ahead and get the top bracket off. I'm going to show you from behind. So you can see it's just 1, 2, 3. I'm surprised these are not security screws. These are just Phillips head screws. Seems like normally on the marquee you'd see security screws because they didn't want people stealing the marquees. Okay, so we've got that off. I probably should remove the speaker grill because we are going to paint that. We're going to paint the wood that's under the speaker grill, and then we're also going to paint the grill itself. So we should probably get in here and remove that speaker grill. Now it looks like the nuts for the speaker grill are actually on the inside of the cabinet. So let's see if we can get to them from the back. Oh, no, we can't because it's a solid piece of wood. I did notice on the front here, though, that there are 2 screws. There's one here and there's one over here. It looks like I need to unscrew this marquee light wood to actually get to the speaker itself. So let's go ahead and get a standard screwdriver. Oh, it looks like I could do a nut driver too. Let me get one of those. Okay, so I went and got a little nut driver here, and we're just gonna undo this, and hopefully this piece of wood then just comes out, and then we can get to the speaker brackets. Okay. So let's see how this looks in here. And I'm hoping for a Molex connector. Yeah, there's a Molex connector on the back side here, so. Okay. So I disconnected the little Molex connector that was on the back, and so that's the marquee light assembly, nothing really fancy. We should probably clean that up later too. Okay, so we're at the speaker now, and you can kind of see, let me see if I can raise this up and we can peek inside there. And you can see here that we've basically just have 4 nuts that are kind of holding the speaker into place. And I'm going to go ahead and just undo those. Let me get my little socket set. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and just undo these real quick. And then that speaker grill should just fall off. Okay, so we've got the grill off right there, and it's actually not in bad shape. I think this is a piece of aluminum, so it doesn't rust or anything. I don't know if we'll repaint that. It actually looks pretty nice. All right, so let's take a look in here. So we've got our speaker, and we probably should pull that out. We've got actually 2 soldered wires. And there's no Molex connector. Well, that's a bitch. I guess for now we'll just leave it in here. And, okay, so we are completely stripped now. I've got everything off that I want to paint. I got all of the vinyl off. I think what I'm going to do real quick, I'm going to clean up this mess that I just made, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, we got the garage all cleaned up here, and I think what we're going to do first is we're going to work on the control panel. I actually want to strip every part off of here, the joystick, the nuts and the bolts, because we're going to have to paint all the nuts and stuff. So why don't we go ahead and just start doing that, and then we'll start prepping this for painting. So I guess to strip this, it's not too hard. We just basically got to go through here and remove every single part. Excuse me. So let's look at the back here. And so let's get the joystick off. We're actually going to have to pop the little E-clip off here to actually remove the joystick. So if you look in here, there's like a little E-clip, and you got to take those off because otherwise the joystick will not come off because the ball of the joystick will not fit through the hole. So why don't I go ahead here and just pop the E-clip off, and I'm just using some pliers. Okay, so we've got that off right there. And so now the joystick should probably just pull right out. And there you go. There's the joystick. So we'll have to clean that up a little bit. It's a little rusted, but the ball itself is in nice shape. Okay, so I'm going to put these parts in my little Ziploc bag so I don't lose them. And then there's 4 little nuts down here to remove the joystick assembly itself. So let me raise the camera up here just so we get a little better work angle. There, that's better. Okay, so I'm just going to take this off. Okay. Huh. You know what? It looks like I need to remove the metal part first. I actually probably could leave the joystick on here because this is a piece of wood with like a metal overlay around it. And I think actually all I need to do is just remove the metal. I can almost leave everything on this piece of wood here because this is spinning right now because on the other side the nut just has nothing to grab onto, so it's spinning. So let's see if I have the right nut driver for this. So it looks like if I pull these 4 nuts off, the metal overlay will just pop off. Damn it. Huh, the nut is stuck in there. That's annoying. Okay. Okay, it looks like I should remove the buttons too, because those are actually holding the metal control panel down onto the piece of wood. So I'm just going to come in here with my channel locks and just loosen these big nuts. Okay, and then we're going to just toss those because I got new buttons. Okay, so I think this piece of metal should pop off now. And we want to save these little nuts because we're going to paint those. And the washers. Okay. So, let's see here. Is there anything holding this wood on? Oh, there's 2 screws in the front here. There's 2 screws right there that I need to get rid of. So let me go ahead and put all my hardware in this bag. And let's get a Phillips bit. I mean, undoing the control panel is really not that hard, you know. It's just kind of common sense. Take it apart. Make sure you don't lose any of the parts as you're removing them. It's always a good idea too to take photos before you take it apart. Okay, so I think, all right, so there you go. So we've got the metal control panel off, and it was just kind of screwed down to the wood there. There's actually one last little carriage bolt here, so just undo that. So the wood underneath looks pretty nice, actually. It's all painted. Boy, that does not want to come off. It's like it's stripped or something. There we go. Okay, so let's kind of put this to the side for a second here. And I do want to talk a little bit about the joystick because we're going to actually rebuild it. And God, this is all rusty and filthy there. So we'll clean that up and maybe hit that with some paint. I probably do want to take the joystick off because we are going to rebuild the joystick. I've got a new grommet for it. And let me kind of come in here with my nut driver. And let's pull the joystick off completely. Looks like we might have to, the harness is going to come with it. Okay, so the joystick is all unscrewed. I'm going to have to take these off here because we're going to have to take it off with the harness, which is no big deal. So we'll just take that screw and this screw right here off, and that should probably release the whole thing. Okay, so we got the joystick off. The whole harness came with it. Something just flew across the room. Let me grab that. So this little guy flew across the room. This actually goes on the joystick, and that's what hits the leaf springs. And this is a leaf spring style joystick. You see that there? So when you move the stick, it's actually hitting these little leaf switches. Okay, it's not a micro switch joystick. It's a leaf switch joystick, and we're gonna probably clean up those two. Actually, why don't we do the joystick real fast? So let me put this to the side. So the wood's actually in pretty good shape. I don't think I'm gonna do too much to this. That looks nice. I'll maybe clean it up a little bit. So let's put that to the side, and then let's address this joystick here. I'm gonna drop all these parts in here. Okay, so inside here is a grommet, and over time, that little rubber grommet gets kind of weak. It wears out, and the joystick is just kind of real mushy, kind of, I guess. And so we're going to replace that grommet real quick. So let's take this apart, and it looks like we got four nuts right here. Should get us to the grommet part. And this thing is filthy, by the way. I think we should sand this all up and clean it because it's pretty disgusting and gnarly. Okay, so let's take these off here. 1, 2. 3. And 4. Okay, so here we go. We got that part there. And so the grommet is this piece right here. And that actually doesn't look too bad. But I'm going to change it anyway. But they make reproduction. There's a website called GameGrommets.com. And he makes reproduction grommets, and here's a reproduction one right here. So here's the original, here's the reproduction, and fairly accurate reproduction, and these really give these kind of Wicco style sticks. This isn't a Wicco stick, this is like a Midway proprietary stick, but he makes all these grommets that work in the Wiccos, and he also modified these, or made the design to also work with the Midway style joystick, which is what we have right here. Now there is I think there's 2 different ways this can go on here. Kind of looking, and I'm not really too sure actually it's going to matter which direction we put it on. This side has 2 holes, so let's take it off and see how it looks. So we're just going to remove these 4. I really kind of want to clean this thing right now. It is just, look at this. That is disgusting. Okay, so it was on like that. So let's kind of compare these. Looks like, yep, okay. So there's the old one, and the new one's on the right. And old one actually doesn't look that bad. A lot of times you'll see the rubber is just deteriorated or just crumbling or cracked. This original one actually doesn't look that bad, but I'm going to replace it anyway. So it looks like it goes just like this, okay? And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to screw it down for now, just so I have it in the right spot. But I'm going to clean this up. I don't think I'm going to repaint these. I think I'm just going to sand all the surface rust off of these. All right. Okay, I think I'm going to take some sandpaper to this and just get this surface rust off of here. I may or may not repaint this. I can't decide. I probably should. I don't really have any very aggressive sandpaper on hand right now. Let me see if I can find some more aggressive grit here. This is not really doing the job. Okay, so I went through here, I actually took this all apart and sanded this down, so we are going to repaint this. And we're also going to repaint this piece too, because this had a lot of surface rust on it. Now I need to remove these leaf springs here, and leaf switches, sorry. And so I really kind of want to document how this is on here, so I'm going to take a picture of it so that when I put it back together, I get the wires kind of right. And so let's go ahead and do that. And I'm just going to go ahead here and take a photo just so I can get the colors in the right spot. Okay, so to remove these leaf switches, there's two screws holding each one onto the little tab on this piece of metal here. So let's go ahead and just yank those off real quick. Okay, I got all the leaf switches off of here, and I'm just going to come through here and just kind of, actually it's not that bad, I'm just looking for any surface rust. And, you know, this part is not seen, so we don't have to do that great of a job, but we do want to get the rust off if there's any, and then we're going to repaint this. So, alright, so we've got these two things, parts of the joystick here ready to be painted. The inside of this one is just filthy, so I think I'm going to spray this with a little simple green or something. Where is my simple green? And I just basically want to get all the grease and crap. There's like all kinds of weirdness underneath here. And that area underneath there is going to be kind of hard to hit with the paint, but I don't want to paint dirt, you know. So let's kind of clean that all up. I sure hope I can put this joystick back together. I'm kind of thinking that if I get stuck, I can just go online and get the manual. So it should be pretty clear. This is all well documented in the manual. Kind of exploded views. Okay, so this looks pretty clean. I'm going to let this dry, and then we'll paint. We'll put this in the pile of other metal parts to paint. And I'm going to paint all of these with the satin black spray paint. So, okay, so those two are ready to be painted, and I'm going to put them in our paint pile. I guess right now, while we're kind of in the mode here of sanding, let's look at this. We're going to repaint this. It's not that bad, but just going to clean it up a little bit. Again, I don't want to paint dirt. So just hit it with a little simple green, and then we'll let it dry, and then we'll start painting everything. Man, this part's pretty nice. I wonder if I should not even paint this. It's just a little dirty. I know this is like powder-coated aluminum or something, but it's in good shape. Alright, so let's put this over here. And let's take a look at these brackets here. These are filthy. We got some rust here. Let's go ahead and just hit that with a little sandpaper. Not a lot of rust, but just a little surface rust. We'll just kind of yank that off. Okay, and we'll just go ahead and clean that up a little bit. Okay, and we'll let this dry and we'll put it in our pile of black parts that need to be painted. And so let's look at these marquee brackets. Not really seeing any rust on here. There's a little bit. So let's just go ahead and just lightly get the surface rust off. Okay, and then this piece here, there's a little bit. Just gonna go through here and roughen it up. And we do have some rust here on the inside. Okay, and we'll just go ahead and clean this stuff up. Okay, so that's good. Ready to be painted. Okay, so all of our metal parts here, except for the control panel and coin door, are ready to be painted. So I think I'm going to clean this up real quick, clean up this mess, and we'll move on to the control panel. So let's do that next. Okay guys, we're all cleaned up here. So the next thing I need to do is we need to get this old control panel overlay off of this piece of metal. And I don't think it's going to be that easy actually, because it looks like it's separating and the glue's really on here in spots. And so I'm going to start with some heat. And let's just see what happens here. This could be a real bear. So I'm just going to kind of heat this up and see if we can get this off. And then I think we're going to have to use some kind of chemical to get the rest of the glue off. We'll see how the heat does, but this can sometimes be a very challenging job getting these old overlays off. I've experienced some really stubborn ones. And I've used brake cleaner to get these off, to get the glue off. I've used heat like this. You know, we might be able to get the overlay off easily, but then we're going to be left with all this gluey residue. And that's kind of where it gets ugly. But the heat is working here, so let's just keep going. But it's leaving that glue behind, which is not fun. And I'm just kind of heating up, you know, a couple inches at a time, and then using my scraper to get underneath and get it off, and it is working. So you can see it's coming off. All right, let's keep going with the heat. Okay, we have the old overlay off, and but you can see we are left with a very gluey mess, okay? And we gotta get this glue off. So I think I'm gonna try first, I'm gonna try soaking it with Goo Gone. So let's try to see if we can prop this up and make it level somehow. And I'm just going to put a big-ass pile of Goo Gone on there and just let it soak for about 10 minutes or so. I'm trying to find something. Try this box, I guess. Okay. So we got the control panel nice and level here. So we could put the Goo Gone on it and just let it soak. So I'm just going to squirt the living hell of this stuff on here and just let it soak, and then come back with my scraper and hopefully scrape all of this off. I'm putting a lot on. But like I said, in the past, I've used like brake cleaner. I don't have any on hand right now, so we're going to have to try this. I've got a bunch of chemicals on my shelf to, like, you know, bug and tar remover, and we'll try this first. And they also have Goof Off, which is a little higher test, but we'll just try the Goo Gone first. Okay, so we've got a lot of it on there. I'm just going to let that sit for about 10-15 minutes. And then we'll come back and hopefully scrape all of that glue off. So we'll be right back. All right, guys, we are back here. It's been actually about an hour. I let this soak for about an hour here. So let's take our scraper here and see if we have any luck getting this old glue off. And, oh man. It's coming off in parts. Some of this stuff is really on here. So it's coming off relatively easy. Some areas, though, are a little more stubborn than others. Like right here. It's almost like in this area, the overlay delaminated, and you've got kind of part of the plastic or whatever. It's kind of stuck on there. There we go. What a mess. All right, I'm going to take some paper towel here and just kind of wipe this off to kind of see what we're really dealing with. And you can see we've still got some remnants of that overlay on here. Very messy. Yeah, so we've got chunks of like the adhesive layer that are kind of on here. Oh man. I'm wondering if I should use a little heat to maybe get that bottom layer off. Because it's in some places it's just not off at all. Look at this. Alright, I think I'm gonna try my heat gun on this. Let's get this box out of here. And you know, Goo Gone is not flammable, so I'm okay here using a heat gun. If we were using, you know, like a mineral spirits or a naphtha, you would not want to use a heat gun right now because you could probably catch this whole thing on fire. So I'm just gonna try putting some heat on this to get rid of that layer, that glue layer that's on there. It is working. You can see it's smoking. So like I said, you don't want to do this with mineral spirits or whatever on here, because you could probably have a big fire. So this is working. Okay, I got all this kind of plasticky, gluey layer stuff off of here, and really, I think all that's left on here now is only glue, and not any remnants of the overlay itself. So I think I'm going to do right now is I'm going to soak it again in Goo Gone, just to get the kind of remaining gooey remnants off here. The main thing, though, is we got really all of the heavy stuff off of here. So I think there's only just glue on here. So let's bring our little box back. And we'll just let this soak some more in Goo Gone. So, and I'm just gonna go ahead and just put another layer in here. It's slow going, but we're getting there. And I'm going to let it soak again for about 20 minutes or so. I think I'll go in and play some Call of Duty Ghosts for about 20 minutes and then come back out. How's that sound? Or should I play Battlefield 4? I like them both. What do you guys think? Are you guys Call of Duty guys or are you Battlefield guys? I'm kind of enjoying both of them for different reasons. Ghost is kind of like a nice, fast-paced, get in and out kind of game, whereas Battlefield, a little more of a commitment. You know, half-hour matches, giant maps and vehicles and stuff. But anyway, okay, let's let this soak here for about 20 minutes or so, and then I'll come back and hopefully we'll scrape all this glue off here and we'll be done. All right, guys, we're back. It's been about 15-20 minutes. I actually went in and played New Super Mario Brothers on the Wii U. That's fun. I like that game. I actually can't wait for the new Mario, the 3D Mario game on the Wii U. That's going to be great. So, okay, let's see if we can get the remaining glue off here, and it looks like we can. Awesome. I love my chemicals. All right, this is going great here, actually. Let me grab some paper towel here and we'll wipe this down and see what we got left. Yeah, that's real nice. we might have just a little more over here. Let's get this box out of here. I think we got most of it off. There's a little bit hanging out here. I might come off. That might come off when we sand this. I'm just gonna hit this with my sander real quick. But yeah, that looks pretty good actually. There's a little bit here, but not much. All right, so we're getting kind of close here. We're about ready to paint this. Now, the plan of attack here is I'm going to put a liquid mask over this artwork, and I'm going to try to save this silk-screened artwork. Okay. Now I'm noticing here though, it looks like somebody tried to paint this control panel at one time, and it looks like they might have taped off the bottom here, but there's some overspray on here. You can see that. You see that? I'm going to try to get that off with a little bit of naphtha. Let's see if we can do that. Just going to wipe this down. Actually, I'm going to clean up this area, and then we'll come back and try to get that overspray off. Okay, guys, we got it all cleaned up here. And again, I want to just kind of get this overspray off of here. And I'm going to try this. This is naphtha. It's kind of like a paint thinner. I'm hoping and guessing that it's not going to harm the silkscreen artwork, but it'll get some of that overspray off. I sure hope this works. I've got other stuff I could try, but I'm going to try this first. And I'm just going to wipe this down. And is it working? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is getting the blue off here. It's not getting the blue. It's getting the black off, which is what I want. This stuff evaporates pretty quick too. It is working, it's just going slow. All right. Now they do, I understand they make decals for this. If you didn't want to save the original artwork, you could just paint over it and put a decal on here. I didn't want to do that. I want to save the original art. The decal, it looks good, but you know, when I see it, all I see is a decal, and it's not supposed to be a decal. It's supposed to be printed directly on here. This control panel actually was reproduced, I think by Take-Man on Clove, and he sold out, and he reproduced it with the silk screening on it, which would be pretty handy right now, wouldn't it? It would definitely make my life easier. But I could see here we're definitely getting this overspray off of these Ghosts and Pac-Man here. Just a little elbow grease. It's a lot of work. See that? And yeah, this stuff's flammable, so no smoking or heat gun when you're with this stuff. It's coming off little by little here, but okay, I got most of it off. There's still some kind of stubborn stuff in here. I'm gonna try this. This is spray paint graffiti remover. I'm gonna do this really quick though. I'm worried about this stuff maybe eating up the silkscreen artwork. So I'm just gonna spray a little bit on here and see what happens. I'm just gonna try a different chemical. See if we get any different results here. I just gotta make sure I don't lift the blue up. It does seem like it's a little more effective. I bought this at Home Depot. I think it was on clearance actually. I don't know if they're discontinuing it or what. This stuff is, I could tell, is more effective. It doesn't seem to be affecting the silkscreen artwork, which is good. Just pulling that black off. Yeah, that's working actually really good. I'm gonna go ahead here and just spray some on here. This is definitely working. I think it's starting to lift some of the blue, which is not good. Okay. It's looking way better than it did. I don't want to push it here too far because I don't want to risk losing any of the original art. I just want to get this overspray off. All right, I think I'm done. I'm gonna stop. It's definitely way better than it was. I'm gonna come over here with some simple green now and just get the remnants. This is actually orange cleaner. It's like same idea, simple green but orange. All right, I just want to get all the chemicals off. Okay. Yeah, definitely better than it was. That's not bad. That's gonna do it. Okay, so again, I'm gonna clean this up real quick and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so what I want to do now is I want to even this out. I'm going to sand this. It's actually not that bad. There's really no rust on it, but I just kind of want to even these scratches out and stuff because I don't want them showing up after we paint it. I think I'm going to carefully try to come around this corner and sand in here, but I'm using kind of a higher grit sandpaper. Just evening it out. So these scratches have me a little worried. Take some higher grit here. I'm actually out of sandpaper right now, and it's late. It's too late to go to the hardware store, so I'm trying to get by with what I have. I'm going to try putting this piece back on my sander. This stuff's a little more aggressive, and I think it'll really smooth out those scratches. Let me apply this real quick. Okay, I think that's pretty good actually. It's really smooth. I don't feel any scratches or anything. It's interesting, there's like a yellow primer or something underneath this paint. It's kind of weird, I've never seen yellow before. It makes me wonder if they silk screened the whole thing yellow first, and I don't know, it's kind of weird. But I'm gonna just clean this off, get all the dust and crap off of here. So we'll just clean this guy off. So yeah, this control panel is actually very unique. There's not a lot of control panels that have a CPO, control panel overlay, like a sticker, and then also silk screening. You know, this is a very unique situation we're in. You know, normally you just take the control panel overlay off, which is, again, nothing more than a sticker, paint the whole thing, and put a new label on, you know, a new overlay on. So this time around, we're going to do our best to preserve the original silk screened artwork. And we're going to mask off that artwork, okay? And I have something called like a liquid mask that I'm going to go inside and get here, and we're going to put that on real quick. Just cleaning up here. I can't stand it when it's filthy. It's like, you know, I make a mess, I clean, I make a mess, I clean, over and over again. So, all right, so let's get this out of here. Okay, so I'm going to go inside and I'm going to grab our liquid mask, and we're going to apply it to this artwork. And I sure hope it works. Okay. Okay, guys, so what we're going to do here is we're going to mask all of this off with a liquid mask, okay? And when I was trying to figure out how I was going to do this, I was kind of stumped. I was thinking, well, I would put some masking tape over this, or I started thinking about back in my watercolor days, because I used to do like watercolor painting, I used to use like this liquid mask, and I was wondering, well, hey, do they make liquid mask for spray paint? And so I did some research and I found this stuff here. It's called liquid masking film. And it's for model aircraft and boats and cars. It's for building for models, for painting models. So it should you know, hold up to spray paint and not break down is my hope, because I think you're supposed to use this with airbrushing and stuff like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to apply this liquid mask over the original artwork to protect it while we spray paint over it. So I'm just going to kind of mix it up. It's called Bob Divley's liquid masking film. And I'm just going to apply it with a paintbrush. And hopefully this stuff works. I'm guessing it's kind of like a rubber cement almost. So, you know, after you paint, you just peel it off. And it is my understanding that we're going to kind of want to apply this kind of heavy here. So I'm going to start with a reasonably sized brush and just kind of do the centers, and then we're going to work our way towards the outside. But I guess you got to put a lot of this on here, so we want to put multiple coats. So we get good coverage, and it does truly protect the artwork when we spray paint. So I'm just going to apply it really thick, multiple times, and I'm going to start in the center areas, and then I'll work my way out to the edges with a thinner paintbrush. But I really hope this works. I think it will. And I'm just kind of going kind of fast here. I was reading the bottle, and it said that it's best to spray it on. And then I guess you go over it afterwards with an X-Acto knife and cut off the areas that you don't want to protect. And then you just peel it off and then you paint it. But we're going to apply it with a brush, and I don't see why this won't work. I do think, though, that we got to put it on heavy. I did a little bit of research on this online, and I guess for it to peel off afterwards, it's got to kind of be thick, you know. So I'm going to keep going here. Okay, guys, I'm done with the liquid mask, and I just put it on really heavy, and I'll kind of show you guys close up here how it looks, but boy, I hope that works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this dry overnight. It says on the bottle like 1 or 2 hours, but I'm going to bring this piece inside the house because it's a little cool out here. I'm going to let it dry overnight, and then we're going to spray paint it. So, okay, I think that is it for part number 5 of the Pac-Man Cabaret restoration. In the next video, we're going to be painting all of the metal pieces, putting the control panel all back together, and then we're going to start addressing the wood here on this bottom corner. But we're actually pretty close to being done now, because after I paint all the metal parts, really I need to address this corner, and then put the vinyl on, put the game back together, and we are done. So I'm not sure if I could do this in one more video or if it's going to require 2 more, but time is, the clock is ticking here, guys, because it is late November, and I got lucky this week with the weather, so hopefully it'll be warm again next week, and we can continue this restoration series and get this thing done before the winter. But if it gets too cold out here, I might have to put this off to the spring. I don't want to do that, or I might get all the messy stuff done out here and then just finish the game inside the house. Because really, the messy stuff that's left is the painting and the woodworking. If I can just kind of get that stuff done next week, I could finish the game inside the house. Because applying the vinyl, I could do that inside. That's not messy. And it might be better to apply the vinyl inside anyway, because it'll be a little warmer, and maybe the glue will adhere a little bit better to the cabinet. So anyway, guys, there you have it. Thanks for watching. Why don't we go back down to the basement? All right, guys, there you have it. That was part number 5 of the Pac-Man Cabaret restoration. And as you can see, it is coming along. We're getting somewhere, right? I really hope to have this done the next week or so. I actually got to get out there and bust my ass because you know what? It's almost December, guys, and the weather and the time frame here is not on my side, is it? So I got to get out there because I really do want to get that game in this basement. So anyway, there you have it. Thanks for watching. Again, check out my podcast, Video Game Outsiders, at videogameoutsiders.com. We do that show live every Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, at allgames.com and now youtube.com/VGOcast. And also check out my arcade podcast, Arcade Outsiders. If you go to arcadeoutsiders.com, you can learn all about it. We also do that show live every Tuesday night at 11 p.m. Eastern at allgames.com. And I think that's about it for me this week, guys. I will see you next time, and I will try to release a video midweek here coming up. So anyway, thanks for watching. I do hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you later. Bye.